What's going on? Charles Botenston. Two books that you have to be reading right now. And I'll just give you, listen, I actually didn't read the books, but I saw so much on the topic that I'm like, you know what, it was like literally studying it for a week. To be honest, the two topics that you have to do from now on, and there's an amazing article that I just read in today's, I think it was The Atlantic, theatlantic.com, which, someone sent it to me. I'm not like a browser of that, but not like it's like bad or good. I don't know what The Atlantic is. I think it's whatever. Who cares? So in the article, it was essentially saying that this person was quoting iGeneration, like iGen. You know how they have Gen X, Gen Y, baby boomers. This person was quoting iGen. So that's essentially from 1995 to 2012, I think right around there. And it's essentially the people that didn't know they only lived with the internet, and then obviously the back end of that generation only lived with cell phones. And essentially you lived with cell phones and the internet, and you don't know a time that you didn't have this at your disposal. So essentially he was going through all these statistics about they're not hanging out as much, they're not as happy, they're not having as much sex, they are renting cars instead of buying cars because they don't need that independence. That's essentially what the article was about, was that they don't need the independence to go somewhere. For me, it was like, I can't wait to get my driver's license to go away. Now you have Uber and you have your cell phone, so you could just be like, I can see what my friends are doing at all times. So they're staying indoors more. Here are the two things that really led up to this article. So I already knew these two things. I already read about these two books. However, when I read the article, I was like, this is where I'm really gonna shine. Number one is, and these are both book titles, look them up, links are below. Number one is Radical Honesty. Okay, radical honesty. Okay, radical, not just like, oh no, that's good, but really you don't think so, or it looks good, but I think. Nobody adds in the but I think, because nobody wants to get offended. Everyone, we've already heard about it. I don't want to berate or berate, whatever that word is, the topic, which is no one's speaking their mind, everyone's in the PC culture, everyone gets offended, blah, blah. For me, I don't care. I don't care if you're offended. I really don't. Like, that's your problem. That's not mine. Anything I say, I know is through a filter of, okay, this is not good or this is fine. How you take it. Here's an example. I think I already used this. I was talking about vacation. When I go on vacation, I don't like sitting on a beach and just sitting on the beach and like maybe having like mojitos. Like, that's just not vacation to me. Like, I want to be in the water. I want to be snorkeling. I want to be skydiving. I want to do like something, even though I've never gone skydiving. I want to be doing something. Like, I can't just sit on a beach. So I said that in one of my videos, and I think I said it in a post, because it's like, all I was saying was that I don't do that. I'm not saying that it's right or wrong. I wasn't like throwing in an opinion behind it. I was throwing, this is what I do. One of my buddies messaged me, who we used to play hockey together when we were younger, and he was like deeply offended. He was like, that's ridiculous. That's not all people. When I go on vacation, I want to really just... So I wrote back, awesome. And he goes, from that comment, it sounds like you're sarcastic. It's like one of those things that you just let it go. I'll give you another example. Last week, one of my agents sends out an email and was asking if there's pets allowed in the building. I own a real estate company here in New York City, and the person I knew from high school emailed me directly, not my agent, but emailed me and was like, he asked without clarifying that he was an agent and he didn't tell me the customer's name. And I'm like, dude, you handle that with the agent. That's not where you escalate it to the boss. That's not like you call the person out. And then I wrote back, oh, hey, bud, hope all is well. Yeah, I'll cover it. And then he emails back and he goes, why the trite answer? I don't know, whatever he ended up saying. But essentially, people are offended when you reply or you don't reply. Is it long enough of the reply, or is it too short of a reply? Why are you not replying longer? Why are you just saying awesome? It's like radical honesty. Okay, radical honesty is, okay, thanks. You gave me feedback. I gave you feedback. Awesome. That's your problem that you're offended. There's a difference between hate speech and things like that. First of all, I don't want to get into the whole, free speech. Hate speech is still speech. There's nothing physical about that. Hate speech is still free speech, okay? And that's the biggest thing what's his name? Philip DeFranco was talking about is that regardless if someone calls you an asshole or a bitch or you're ugly or you're fat, you're obese, you're stupid, you're poor, or even worse, and they really get into it, it's still speech. If you start limiting someone's speech, you start limiting expression, you start limiting ideas, you start limiting conversation. If you start limiting conversation, literally you're going like this and then it's just a parallel line, okay? I'm not abdicating that this is right. I'm just saying censoring honesty, censoring radical honesty is not the way you should go about it. You should look inward because they're just words. I've already brought this up in the past. Here's an idea. If someone called me, Charles, you're probably one of the stupidest people I know, I'd be like, okay. Why? Because I know I'm not stupid. If I was 18 and someone said, Charles, you're probably one of the stupidest people I know, I'd be like, yeah, you're right. And I would agree with them. It was the same sentence. It was the same sentence. It's how I interpret it. When I was 18, I didn't think I was smart. I'm 20-something. I'm 32. I don't think I'm stupid. I think I'm smart. So the same sentence came at me. I didn't believe what they said, so I interpreted it as, okay. It's the same thing. You have the choice of taking any honesty, we want radical honesty because radical honesty starts conversations. It doesn't end conversations. If you don't allow conversations, people may take that into the physical form of a fight, of an argument, of a breakup, of a divorce, of a bankruptcy. You know, it's like you as board of directors, you in a relationship, you as friends, you need the radical honesty. I brought this up with my agents last week. I said, if there's anything you need to have, I need to create an environment of radical honesty. Here's the second thing, not to go completely on to that point, but it's Crucial Conversations. Incredible book. You have to read it. Crucial Conversations essentially is whatever conversation you need to have it now. That is almost the whole book. You need to have that conversation right now. What do we usually do? No radical honesty. Lock it, keep it in our head, and then we just start playing it over and over in our heads. We just start playing it over and over, and we just say, well, and then you start having an internal fight of an internal conversation with your spouse or your friend or your boss or your colleague or a team player or whoever or the president or a politician or an athlete, and you're like, this is what I would do, this is what they would say, then I would say this, then I would say this. You're like having a conversation in your mind that never existed, may never exist, but you're having the conversation. If someone is not doing something that you want them to do, have a discussion, not an argument, have a discussion. Hey, how's it going? Yeah, I was just wondering, you know, we promised each other 10 sales calls, only 5 were made. Was there a reason? That's it. Radical honesty. The conversation needed to be had instead of my mind saying they didn't make 10 sales calls. They only made 5 sales calls. And for them, they're thinking like, why is this guy calling me out? I know he's my boss. I know he's my manager. It's like, no. You need to create the environment within every relationship that anything they say, you will not get offended because, again, it's speech. That's it. That's it. If I told a beautiful woman, you are ugly, unless she truly believes she's ugly, she'll be like, oh, okay. But if I told her your nose is too big, she'd be like, that's really mean. It's like, if you believe it, that's when it really becomes hurtful. But the thing is, it's still speech, okay? Have the discussion. Why do you know, I'm not gonna say it there, like, why do you think my nose is too big? It's actually in proportion to my body, blah, blah, blah. I'm talking about when you're in a relationship, when you're the manager, when you're the boss, when you're a parent, you need to have the radical honesty of whatever you feel, however you feel. It's how you actually talk about what you need to feel, number one. And number two is, when you have the conversation, when you already think it's too late, you need to have the conversation. When you already think that a conversation needs to be had, have that conversation. Don't wait till next week. Don't wait till you see them. Give them a call. Don't text them. Give them a call and have that crucial conversation with radical honesty, okay? I think, like, if you create the environment with all your relationships, you're gold. So that's Charles Botenston signing off. Subscribe to the channel. Obviously, go to the seminar sign-up page below. We're going to be having that as well. We have, I don't know, about 25. I think, yeah, about 25 signed up right now, which is actually pretty good. You know, good number. I honestly want to get it up to like 40, 50, and then, you know, whatever amount actually comes. But anyway, have an awesome day. Subscribe to the video. Check out the 2 books linked below. Have an awesome day. Talk to you soon.